All right, we've been talking a lot about Merrie Monarch, but we also want to talk a little bit of science. So we have two representatives from the Keck Observatory. You have John O'Mara, the chief scientist right here, as well as Ilihia Gionson, the chief public affairs officer. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Aloha.
You know, we wanted to talk a little bit about science and kind of the relationship to hula, especially in this week with Merrie Monarch going on.
Yeah, you know, so much of hula is about understanding and observing and investigating the natural phenomenon around us, which is not unlike what astronomers do, looking at all the things around the universe and how they might affect us. So we're so happy to be here celebrating Merrie Monarch and sharing a little bit about what we do.
And John, you know, I believe we have a picture showing Mauna Kea from space that we wanted to share with our viewers and to talk about kind of the unique conditions of why Mauna Kea is so great to be able to see the space.
Yeah, Mauna Kea is the most scientifically impactful site in the world for astronomy, and that's because of how high up it is, the altitude, about 14,000 feet. Where we sit on the Earth, you know, we're close to the equator out in the middle of the Pacific, so we can see a huge portion of the sky. And then the sky conditions are just pristine. The air flows very smoothly over Mauna Kea, which means that the seeing conditions are just perfect. And that's why there's 10 observatories there.
So I don't think that's the right picture. That's actually the asteroid that we wanted to talk about that was discovered by the Keck Observatory. And we had talked about this in the news because there was a very low probability that this asteroid could actually hit Earth. But you've decided we're okay?
Yeah, we're good news. Good news. We're going to be fine.
Okay.
So Keck and a number of observatories on Mauna Kea and on Haleakala figured out that this thing, which they had a low probability of maybe hitting Earth, was a 0 probability of hitting Earth. The moon, it might hit the moon, but, you know, okay. But the important thing that we did with Keck was not only figure out that it wasn't going to hit Earth, but then we took extra measurements to figure out what it's made out of.
Wow. And
that's important because if there was a probability of something hitting the Earth, you want to know what it's made out of so you can know how to deflect it. Is it a bunch of rocks clinging together? Is it one big giant rock? In the case of this thing, YR4, it's one big giant rock. And that's what you got to know if you're going to send Bruce Willis up.
Exactly. And we were joking about the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis and Jerry Bruckheimer. And Jerry Bruckheimer actually came to Keck Observatory recently?
Jerry was there. He was awesome. He was there with his family.
And me and Jer.
Me and Jer. But I had to joke with him because I said, you know, the physics in Armageddon is all wrong.
What?
It's
wrong?
Well, you know, I mean, you got to. I'm a nerd. But and then he sent me the Armageddon poster with, you know, a nice little note from Jerry, and it was great.
All right. So one more question for you, Justin. Seeing the relationship with hula and the stars, and you feel like this is the week to really let people know that they can actually come and see the Keck Observatory as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our headquarters facility in Waimea, right across the street from the hospital. For those making the trip up to the summit of Mauna Kea, we do have a small visitor gallery where folks can come in and kind of take a peek in and see the work that we do.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I want to thank you two for being here today to talk about this.
Well, thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, you know, not all of us can be rocket scientists, right?
Everyone can be a rocket scientist.
I don't know. But thanks again, you two.
Okay,
all right.